Welcome to Centinela de Cristo.
Blessings. This is Pastor Luis Luciano from Oklahoma. Tuesday, April 22nd. Given what you asked for. As originally established, Israel was not to have a human monarch, the way the other nations did. In time, however, Israel's faith faltered, and they found themselves pinning for the things that the nations, the Gentiles, had. Read 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 4 to 18. Why do you suppose the elders found the idea of a king appealing? In what ways do we fall prey to similar temptations? It is important to notice that the request for a king was a rejection of God's reign over his people. As established, the nation was to answer directly to the Creator, and their relationship to him was put on display through the sanctuary and his services, among other things. By requesting a king, they will bring the same kinds of suffering on themselves that the Gentile kingdoms experienced: military conscription in the king's wars, confiscation, taxation, and other ills. They will discover that human potentates tend to rule in their own favor, instead of benevolently as God does. Also, the new arrangement will be permanent. Israel would be given what they asked for. But when they realized that it was a downgrade, they will be stuck with it. And you will cry out in that day because of your king, who you have chosen for yourselves, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 18. God knows the weakness of his people, and he predicted early on that Israel will request a human king. They did. And so much of sacred history is a story of the consequences of that choice. Read Deuteronomy chapter 17, verses 14 to 20. Notice that God does not say, I will give them a king, but rather, his people decide that they want one. God puts safeguards in place to protect his people from some of the evils of human government, though, as the history of the nation and its kings showed, the safeguards were often ignored. One simply has to look at the history of Israel after they decided to have a king in order to see just how badly things went for them under these kings. Though some kings were better than others, even the good ones had done wrong. Think of David and Bathsheba. In many cases, the nation lived under the rule of one king after another who did evil in the sight of the Lord. See 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 6, 1 Kings chapter 15, verse 26, 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 30, 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 2. Back then, or even today, all human governments share one thing in common: sinners governing other sinners. What possibly could go wrong?